Welcome to The Real Estate Show on WGBF AM with your host, Charlie Butler. This is where you'll learn to sell your home quickly and for more money. And now, the host of The Real Estate Show, the guy who guarantees to sell your home or he'll buy it himself, Charlie Butler.
Good Sunday morning, Tri-State. This is the Charlie Butler Real Estate Show. I'm here, as I am every Sunday, with my co-host, Evie Barr.
Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, Evie. How are you doing this Sunday?
I am great. Ready to watch a little NASCAR this afternoon. Just relax. What about you?
I'm doing great. So you're going to get into some wrecks and all that good stuff.
Always.
What was it a couple weeks ago? I don't follow it like I used to, but I saw one of the Bushes that got in a fight there at the end.
With Logano. That was pretty humorous, but the Bushes, Kurt, I think, has been wrecking the past few weeks. So I'm not big on the Bush brothers. I've got other favorites. So
Kurt and Kyle have got in their share of fights over the years and disagreements that I followed it back when they started. Have moved on to the Cardinals have started.
Yes.
We're excited about that. It's going to be a good season, we think. Got to beat those evil Cubs this year, So,
Go back to the World Series.
Yes, yeah. Get the world order back right. Knowing Bobby's over here, the Cub fan, he's, we always talk about Bobby, our producer, and we never let him talk. And I'm sitting here looking behind his head, the WJLT banner.
Yeah, we're actually in the My 105.3 studio.
But Bobby, as a lot of people know, I advertise a lot with this station, and I was advertising with 105.3. And several months ago, my rep, it was ESPN then.
Yes, it was.
And Mike was endorsing me, and she said, "Well, Mike and Mike's not going to be endorsing you anymore." And I said, "Well, I just paid him." But we worked that out, okay? But so 105.3 went away from the sports format, and you're really involved in this, aren't you, Bobby?
Yeah, I'm the program director of. I was the program director when it was ESPN Evansville, and I'm the program director still for the new My 105.3, and I also am the morning show co-host with Stacey Godbold.
So, what was your idea in changing formats? What was the reason?
Well, it wasn't even my decision. It was one of those things that was decided up on high and just kind of trickled down to me. Hey, here's what we're gonna do. But we just decided to move away from the sports format, the sports talk format, and go with the music format, something that was a little different than what we wanted to give the Tri-State something that they didn't already have, or at least a little different version of what they could already get. And so we went with My 105.3 to kind of give possession. This is my favorite station. It's my station, my music, that type of stuff. And in 80s, 90s, and now is the kind of the branding statement that we have. And so it's just the best music from the 80s, 90s, and all the way up until now. And so while there are similar music stations in the area, we are really confident that we play music from the 80s, 90s, and now that you won't hear anywhere else. And Evie, you listen to the radio station.
I listen to it every morning during the week, and it's such a wide variety of music that it might be something slower, and then something pretty fast paced comes in. I'm always worried somebody's going to walk by my office door, and I'm going to be sitting there dancing in my seat. It's just great, happy music.
Yeah, we want to play music, especially for people in my age group. I'm 41, so men and women in that 30 to 40 to 50 range. Essentially that's kind of our target audience, I guess. Playing music that you heard back in middle school and high school, that when you hear it, it takes you back. And honestly, just we don't necessarily do things like other radio stations. There's a lot of rules in radio, and here's what you can and can't do. And we're kind of like, why can't you play this song? Well, because it's not on this chart here.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Evie wants to hear it, and it's a great song from her youth. So let's play it. And let's make her happy. Let's make her day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what, we're kind of moving away from labels, because everybody wants to label a radio station. Well, you're either an AC, which is adult contemporary, or you're hot AC, or you're top 40 or whatever. We don't really have a label for our radio station because we play music from all those different types of format stations. We just play really fun, great music that people want to hear. And they're not getting it anywhere else.
Yeah, and no offense to you and Stacy or anybody else on there, but you guys don't constantly cut in to talk.
We try not to.
It's a lot of music.
Stacy and I, we talk more than we should sometimes, especially Stacy, because she loves to talk.
But it's comical.
No, we're working on it. Because honestly, you're right, Abby. The music is the star of this station.
Yes.
And the music is what drives this station. And we think once people hear the station and give it a try, they're going to fall in love with the music.
Yes.
Bobby, Abby said you guys, aren't talking as much. And, the obvious I listen to the station too, really like the station, but you have a competitor out there who has a sizable market share.
They do, absolutely.
And people have got used to listening to them. Are you also going to give people that local flavor that they are known to give people?
Well, I think we're very local, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying
absolutely.
there?
Yeah. That other station that you're referring to, I think it's just become the go-to because they're safe. But I think with us, I think you're going to get more personality from us. You're not going to necessarily get as much information from us, but I think a lot of information people can get. If you want the weather, I can pull that up in 5 seconds on my phone.
Yeah.
Now, if it's severe weather, we're going to certainly talk about that and how it affects our listening audience. But just the daily forecast, we're not going to stop the music to give you the forecast, which I can pull up in 3 seconds on my phone right now and tell you what it is.
Yeah.
And either one of you could as well. But I think you're going to see us out in the community. You want to talk about being local, you're going to see us out more, and you're going to have a chance to meet us. And we think we have more personality. I think we're a little bit more fun on the air.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that they're not good at what they do, but
and you guys
we're just different.
Yeah.
You guys have had a lot of charitable organizations on since you've started in the end of December, and I think that's bringing the local flavor as well.
Yeah, that's something we really pride ourselves on is the guests that we get in. Any kind of nonprofit, you can come talk to us. You don't have to bring us breakfast. You can come talk to us for free.
Oh, I wonder who we're talking about.
No digging there.
I'm just saying, you don't have to bribe us. You're welcome to come and talk to us anytime you want about any type of event that is good for the community and nonprofit and raising money, and we'll be more than glad to talk to you.
And speaking of nonprofit, don't forget next week we have Christina Rhodes on.
Yes, with Make-A-Wish.
With Make-A-Wish, and but no, just remember WJLT 105.3. Anything else you wanted to add, Bobby?
No, let's let you guys get back to what you like to talk about, what you're good at.
Remember, you are listening to Charlie Butler Show. Abby almost rang the bell on me there. She was getting ready to. So on News Talk Radio 1280. Abby, I'm going to go right into our guest. We've
definitely she's been patiently waiting.
Been very patient, and one of my favorite people. She kind of holds all the realtors together and has for many years. Recently promoted the executive director of the Southwest Indiana Association of Realtors, and you can't say that. You just Southwest Indiana Association of Realtors. Kim Seibert. Kim, great to have you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Kim, most people out there, they've got contact with a realtor. A lot of them use a realtor to sell their house, to buy a house. But I don't think a lot of people know that we actually have an association. They only know that they can go online and look at houses, or that I start to say we have these little boxes, but now we have our phone where we can point at the box. So these little blue boxes are on the house. Someone has to take care of all that stuff. So you want to explain a little bit your role, as I've already kind of just really jumbled myself, but
that's okay.
Okay.
We're used to that.
I know. Yeah. I'm sorry. But you want to explain that's kind of your association's role in it, Kim.
Right. So as becoming a member of the Southwest Indiana Association of Realtors, you also become a member of the Indiana Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors, as it's a three-way agreement. And so what we do is protect the public interest by providing ethical and professional education to our membership, and that's our not-for-profit side. But we also have the for-profit side that manages the MLS and the lock boxes and those kinds of things that you're talking about.
When Kim says the MLS, for those that don't, that is the multi-list system that we, when the realtors send you a house, they set you up on, I call them drip campaigns. Thank you, Client Connect, where you get them in your email. the association manages all of that for the realtors. The individual offices really, I mean, yes, we have input, but we really don't have anything to do with it. That's you guys.
Right.
So, Kim, you were the assistant director for several years. George Postlewaite, who was our director, who retired in 2016, and Kim was promoted. What's been the biggest difference in your job from being the head person now?
So the biggest difference is I spend a whole lot more time on the phone now, talking with people who want to call in and have questions about, if there's a situation that they have with a realtor and how do they resolve it, and those kinds of things. And then as a 501c6, our not-for-profit side, we also can be politically involved. So I kind of do more of going to meetings and with the economic development and different things like that, where that wasn't my role before. So we do a little bit more of that.
And I have been for several years. I'm an RPAC trustee, which is the Realtors Political Action Committee, who, along with with the office, the office sets up interviews for us for all and we only, just in case people want to know how we spend our money, we only do local candidates. We don't do anyone I don't guess we do anyone in state office either.
Correct.
We don't
No.
do. I'm thinking back. We don't do anything. We want in state or any national office.
Correct. Indiana Association of Realtors handles the state candidates, and then the national does the federal. So we only do local candidates, and we are in 11 counties. So
Right.
if there's anybody in those 11 counties that we want realtor-friendly candidates that are going to promote home ownership, those are the kinds of candidates that we're looking to contribute to their campaigns.
And Kim, you mentioned, before I forget, we're in 11 counties, and so many people, and I know some of our other counties, that's kind of why we used to be the Evansville Association of Realtors. That's one of the reasons we changed our name, as we continue to grow and grow. I think we're probably a lot farther out than a lot of people realize.
Right. We go all the way to Knox County and Perry County and all the local counties here. So we're pretty big. We have around 830 members.
Wow.
Plus affiliates. So there's over 1,000 of us.
And Abby, I believe Waterstone is an affiliate member.
Yes, we are.
So.
We are.
Have you paid your dues? I'm just making sure.
I think
we'll Derek
she's like, that's
Mr.
not my
Derek
department.
Danks took care of that for me. Before the show, we were talking about different projects that you guys have going on, and you were talking about, I think, Energize Evansville is the one coming up. What
Right.
exactly is that?
So we're going to partner with Energize Evansville on April the 15th, and we'll be downtown at Sunset Park doing some exercise and walking and all that fun stuff, partnering with them.
Gotcha.
That's our next project that we've got going. And then on April the 29th, we will be having our Realtor Work Day at the Zoo. We are their longest running volunteer organization, so we always have a great big group of people that go out and help with zoo projects.
So what type of projects have you guys focused on in the past or going to focus on this year?
We do a lot of cleanup, a lot of painting, a lot of mulching. We've actually had some bigger projects where we've built things,
Oh, wow.
Stairs and just different.
I'm trying to think of one too. We've been in the past. We've been involved in Keep Evansville Beautiful.
Right, yeah.
Yes, I
we
think
have
that's
a
right.
Realtor Clean Day once. We do that annually. We already did that back in February.
In August, we'll have our annual golf outing.
Right.
It's going to be different this year because, give a shout out to Bob Schultz here. If he's listening, Bob has done the golf outing for what,
33 years.
Wow.
33 years, and he finally, we didn't want him to. I think we talked him into a couple more years than he really wanted to. But Bob did such a fantastic job in organizing that event, and that's been a tremendous charity event, hasn't it, Kim?
Absolutely. If you count everything that we've contributed over the past years that we've donated to local charities, it's been around a little over $200,000. So it's a great project for us, and we get a lot of support from all of our affiliates and the realtor members, and it's been awesome.
What are some of the things that you think that the realtors and the association, or one or both, do, are important in that people really don't think about?
Well, they probably don't think about the advocacy that we do, the interviewing the candidates, getting realtor-friendly, homeowner-friendly candidates to be elected so we contribute to their campaigns. I think that mostly when people think about us, they probably think about the MLS. And so there are so many other things that we do, and people don't even know. So,
and as Kim said, I think, and so many people, as many of you know, some don't, I'm one of the owners of the local Keller Williams, myself and Jenny McBride. But when we interview somebody, that's what they know. They say, okay, what do we have to do to get in the MLS? And back always until just recently to get our E-key, which is how you get in the houses. And that was what they knew about us.
Right.
But as Kim said, there is so much more. Also, getting some of the younger people involved has been a big thing. As our realtor population, one of the concerns with several companies has gotten older, and we're just but we are starting to see some young people come in, and the association has an organization for them, don't they?
Absolutely. A few years back, we started a Young Professionals Network, and they have been extremely active. They do stuff in the community. They do stuff for our members. It's a great group of young people. Although we don't limit it to young people. We welcome anybody of any age. If you're new to the business or if you whoever is welcome to participate in the events. But it's a really strong group. They helped last year in painting the LST. They cooked dinner for the Ronald McDonald House. And then they do lunch and learns for our members. So it's just a wide array of things that they do, and they're enthusiastic, and it's really just been a boost for our association to have that group to come together and work in our association.
And also, before Evie rings the bell here, you're listening to the Charlie Butler Real Estate Show on 1280 WGBF. I'm going to add that 1280 GBF in there, even though Bobby and Evie didn't want me to. So.
Oh, I didn't say a word. No. I do have a question, though.
Oh, well, you did
raise my hand.
Okay, you raised your hand.
So if someone is interested in becoming a realtor, would your office be a good place to reach out to?
Absolutely. They could call us, and we could direct them in the way that they would need to go to get the real estate license. That would be the first step. So they have to take the course. They have to pass the course, take a state test, and pass that test. And then they would apply for their license. Okay. They would have to connect with a real estate broker that's already a managing broker, and then have that license assigned to that broker so that they can work with them.
And if you're a realtor just getting in the business and you're thinking, well, I've had this before, and people were just there is a fee, obviously. I mean, it's not for free, and for the MLS services, for our lockbox services, and by the way, the realtors, I don't even know if our own members know this. I know some of them do, but and for the general public, those blue boxes that you see on the houses, that's how we get into a house. There is an electronic eye in those boxes. Every realtor's got a code. They can put their code in their phone, and it starts a point. You don't even have to point it at it anymore. I'm mixing that in the old Lee box, but I'm going to forget my question. I want to ask you. if I keep digressing, I really probably should. I know it's completely. What did I start out with, Evie?
You were talking about the fees for being
the people said, well, I'll just I'll go with someone that's not a member, and that way I won't have to pay the fees. But those that I know there are a few very small companies out there that aren't members, but there's almost none. But there's no. I'm not putting them down, but there's just no service there unless
Well, the one thing is, if you do not become a member of the association, then you cannot be considered a realtor. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't know the difference between a real estate agent and a realtor.
Good point.
A realtor is a member of the National Association of Realtors. And by joining the local, you join the national, and so you can be considered a realtor. If you're not a member, then you can't use that term, and you're not privy to use the services.
Right.
I never knew that.
No. So if you're not a member and you got your house listed with me, you would list with me, wouldn't you?
Don't tell my family, but yeah.
Okay.
For this scenario.
We won't tell them, okay? But if someone who wasn't a member wanted to show your house, they would not have access to the box to get the house in, to get in the house.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
am I correct,
Did
Kim?
not realize
That is correct. And in addition to that, they would need to reach out to the broker who had the listing to have a cooperation agreement. Otherwise, they would not, because they don't, by participating in the MLS, it's a cooperation and compensation agreement among all the members.
Okay.
So if there's a person that's coming outside of that and wanting to show something from a broker that's inside of that, they would have to request their own agreement with that broker in order to ensure that they were compensated.
Because technically, if they don't, the broker in this, and not saying we would, but the broker would not have to pay someone coming from outside.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I mean, I'm
Gotcha.
not saying it's what you should do, but
Right.
I'm just saying.
Well, I'm thinking it would almost be like somebody coming in as for sale by owner representative is kind of how I'm associating it, because they don't have the realtor name Southwestern Indiana Realtors Association. Did I say that
Well,
right?
yeah, and when we go, like when we do sell for sale by owner, it's just, Kim just brought a good point up earlier, and we get a compensation agreement with that for sale by owner because so we can get paid.
Yes.
So it's kind of the same. I guess in that sense, it'll be the same way as far as compensation goes.
Right.
Okay. I was excited, Charlie, not to cut you off, but didn't we get a Facebook question this past week?
I was going there too, and my mind just left that too. But
that's why you keep me.
Yeah, we did. Although Bobby did a good job.
He did a great job.
Producer and a co-host in one.
But I think you need a female to balance it out. I'm just begging for my job by saying that.
Yeah, the pay is really good on
this one.
Yeah, it is. We did a Facebook question, and I'm glad Kim is here for this one because we had someone who had talked to a broker and they didn't identify who the broker was, and the way they made the question sound, maybe multiple brokers, and said they were wanting to start in the business part-time, but yet nobody wanted them, as a part-time real estate agent. And they went on to tell me they knew several people that had started part-time and and their plan was to transition to full-time. And to put in a shameless plug for my company, Keller Williams will take part-time people. We will interview you, to see if you're going to be a fit with us, but not just making it a Keller Williams thing. Kim, we certainly welcome part-time members to the association. We have several of those, don't we?
Absolutely. By the time they come to us, they have already associated with a company. So I haven't heard anybody questioning or have any concerns about not being able to find an office that will allow a part-time person. But certainly we have a great big group of people to draw from, and I don't know why anyone would have an issue trying to find a broker to affiliate with.
Yeah, because there are some very, very good. Some of the top brokers in our city now started out as part-time brokers.
Well, it's a major jump to become a real estate agent if you're used to being a W-2 employee and getting paid, every couple of weeks to jump to a fully commissioned job. That's a scary thing, and you want to make sure that, you're really planted into it before you give up that steady income and become a full-time realtor?
Well, and I know but just it can happen and it can work well. Trey Dolby, who was a guest a couple months ago, with us. Trey was a project estimator for Skanska,
right?
And he had his license part time, and I mean he was, he did well for the amount of time he could put in it. Trey goes to full time. Been about a year and a half. His first full year, he did $13 million.
Wow.
So
that's
awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's now Trey's got some really good advice. His college roommate was a guy named Ryan Dallas, who I know you've met, Evie. He's from Champaign, one of the top realtors in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've done panels here with Ryan and Mark Spain, who is the #1 realtor in the country, and Adam Merrick, who's one of the top, and several others. But Ryan and Trey were college roommates at Purdue. So Trey pulls liberally from Ryan.
He had a good coach starting in it.
Yeah. And Ryan called me and said, "Look," and that's part of the network. Ryan says, he said, "I know this guy's going to be part time right now, but you really should talk to this guy."
Yeah.
And that's how it got started with Trey and I. And
yeah.
I mean, besides being a great producer, he's a great guy.
Yes.
And Kim, we're coming down to the end of our time, so we got anything else that we didn't cover that you wanted to cover?
I think we pretty much hit the biggest part of it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Uh-oh.
All right. What is? I mean, you deal with 830 realtors.
Right.
Okay. I think I just hit on the most difficult part of her job. Okay.
It's awesome.
They're all fabulous, right?
They are. They really are a great group of people. And, our boards are ran by our members. And so we have so many great volunteers, and we couldn't do it without them.
I've been on the board. I'm finally term limited off because my service corp term ran my association term. I think I've been on there 7 or 8 years because of the grandfathering in from one term, and it's too complicated to get into. But Kim, I mean, the way Kim, George before her, those guys, the way they ran things, it's fantastic. Everything's ready for us.
Right.
These guys, and they're talking about us. These guys are fantastic.
Yes.
Financials are everything is ready, and they just do an awesome job.
Yeah.
But my question was here towards the end. Okay, what is dealing with all these different personalities? What's the most difficult thing in dealing with realtors?
The personalities differences, yeah, that would be it. But at the end of the day, it's all good.
Okay.
We just kind of take it with a grain of salt and just let it go and move on, and everything's awesome.
I'm not done. I'm gonna take this from a different direction. Okay, real quick, we're out of time. Bobby's gonna save you here.
Thank you, Bobby.
If you could change one thing about the realtors, what would you suggest them that they do different in their in dealing with you and dealing with your staff?
I think that if they realized that we were there doing our job as brought to us by decisions that the board made, and not kind of act like we're the ones that are making all those kinds of decisions, that it would probably be easier for the staff.
Kim Seibert, thank you very much. It's been fun.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I learned something new today.
What'd you learn?
About the realtor and the real estate agent.
You already knew how great I was already. So
yeah.
Besides that. Okay, we're running out of time. Bobby's there wrapping up. He said he's going to throw up. I don't wrap it up. But anyway, I know we're out of time. So for Kim Seibert from the Southwest Indiana Association of Realtors, Evie Barr from Waterstone Mortgage, this is Charlie Butler saying have a great Sunday.
You've been listening to The Real Estate Show on WGBF AM with the guy who guarantees to sell your home or he'll buy it himself, Charlie Butler. Join us every week at this time to find out how to sell your home quickly and for more money. For more information, email cbutler@kw.com or visit charliebutlerteam.com.